Hi guys. Okay, I'm back. I had just started recording, then I realized the microphone was off. So it's on. I checked. So I just wanted to get started with this reading, and just as have done a reading on net neutrality as an update, I'm also doing an update on the dreamers, because what's happening is as the year comes to an end, there's all these important decisions, deadlines that people are worried about, and so the dreamers is an issue I personally care about. It doesn't affect me, but it affects a lot of people. Okay, so anyway, so before I get started into the actual reading, I just want to say that I did one or two readings before this one that I didn't what did I record? I don't know. I didn't turn it to a web page, but basically I I saw the readings that I did before. I had asked the question, something like, "Will an amendment pass by the end of the year?" And I honestly, I it wasn't conclusive to me. I couldn't tell. And one thing that was showed in that reading, I think, well, maybe I think I did a short reading, wasn't as long as this one, for example. But something that has been showing up in the last readings, whenever anything that has to do with politics, okay, it's pretty much all the readings are showing that the president's probably going to leave. Okay, so that affects whatever ends up being approved will probably be undone soon. Okay, so this is why I was like, you know what, if I say that it's not going to pass, doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean, I just felt like, you know what, this is not conclusive and everything's up in the air. So if I tell them that it may not pass, what does it mean? It doesn't mean anything, because everything is going to be undone soon, I think. Okay, so I changed the question because that's what I thought about a lot, and what happens. And you'll see that I added a couple of questions after this one too, just to make sure, because the important thing is not necessarily the event itself. It's like, what is the ultimate outcome? What's the ultimate story? And here is, or will they be able to stay, or what's going to happen? What's their fate? Not just one small event, because there's so much happening right now that it may not pass or it may be postponed. We don't know. Okay. So anyway, so let me show you also the other smaller part of the smaller question. So I realized, it's like, you know what? The big question is like, will they stay? And then I pull clarifying cards. Okay. So that's that. Let's talk about the dates first. Okay. So um, we have here um, okay, let me get to where I see what I believe to be the most important thing here, the most striking elements that I see right away. Okay, so the first thing that I look at is position 2, the Chariot and Scythe. And everybody knows, of course, if you've been following the readings I've been doing, that Scythe means an ending. Okay, something is being cut. So I feel like, okay, I feel like here, and that's the question that I still have. The question is, I believe that, because this is what I think. The gentleman here is possibly the president. It's not showing. It's just a man here, but he's not the source of the story. He's not the point of the question, really. But I believe he could be the president, just because it's like representing a man here, and the only man that's relevant to this in this context is really the president. He's affecting it in some way. Okay, so I think this is showing the ending of the president, and the willingness to also, because what happens in these readings is that sometimes the cards, when they go like this, they mean one thing. When they go like this, they mean another, because the essence of the Lenormand as opposed to tarot is the combination. So you always have to read meanings together. And what happens is when different cards connect, they mean different things. So that's where the challenge lies. Okay, so so what do we have here really? If I let's first look at start from the left like I normally do. Okay, so for position number 1, we have 3 of cups and this stork. So this stork really means a positive change, a change for the better, promotion. So I think it makes sense that it's possible that this, it shows them, the dreamers, celebrating as a group that they graduated to a better level, right? That they finally attained legal status. That's really like the first shot in the movie, okay? And then there's a turn. So you have then at position 4, we have 7 of cups upside down, which means the production of illusions, okay, is key here. So basically, it seems as though, well, let's just talk about the cards and then I'll tell you more why I think it corroborates the idea that the president's leaving or this system is leaving. Okay, so then we have position 7, we have a lot of competition fighting, and we have the dream. Basically, I think this card signifies dreams. It could be the dreamers as well. Okay, and then we have the positions 2, 5, and 8. Okay, so 2, we have the chariot, like I said, and the scythe. We have Ace of Cups upside down and the tree. And we have Queen of Cups and fish. So the tree means obviously health, life, and vitality, and also putting down roots, right? Literally. And then the fish, I think, if I'm not mistaken, this card also came up in the reading I did about the dreamers last time. And I was obsessed with the idea that this was about the multiplicity, because it's many, right? Fish, they're groups of hundreds of like dozens or something. So I feel like that's them as a kind of like abundant. It's interesting because like I feel like this is telling me, and this is showing me them as, in Portuguese you say cardume, so it's like the group of fish. I forgot how you say it in English, but basically the group of them having an emotional power, because the Queen of Cups there. Okay, and then at the last column you have a man leaving something behind, and we have here something, and I think this card also showed, I believe it showed up for the last one I did for the dreamers, which was they holding on to something you have. Okay, and then having the Ace of Swords could be lack of focus. It could be maybe something overturned. It's not clear. Okay, and then the Sun. So it could, to me, this could mean like the last card being the Sun is really excellent, and there's like I don't know, I just feel like what I sense here is that because there's several signposts that tell me that it's going to be okay. The big one is position 6, the bear, and 4 of Pentacles. 4 of Pentacles alone I think is probably one of the best cards for this situation, because it's saying you keep what you have. Okay, you hold on to the thing you have. And you have the bear. The bear is a card of power, is a card of the mother, is a card of personal finances. It could mean many things. And I believe here it probably means that there's power. The dreamers are in a powerful situation, powerful position. And you have the Sun. So I feel like in a way, like the reading I did before about the net neutrality, there's a shift and things end well. Okay, but then you have, and the reason why I think, okay, how, let me backtrack a little bit. So how did I separate? I'm reading as a box, but I shouldn't, because it's really about each question. Okay, so how I decided to look into the look at the reading was, let me look at these specific timelines, and I was like, you know what, let me think 6 months, February for some reason, and then the very end of December, and where is everything, where things be at? Okay, so it's saying that by, what is the fate of the dreamers, by December 31st 2017. So it's saying they're celebrating, moving on. Oh, you know what, now it's like everything kind of takes a new, very much more positive meaning, I guess, than when I was reading it by column. So December 31st, you have celebration and moving on to better pastures. You have a victory, and you have a cut to the man, and the man leaves. So I'm assuming this is probably the president. There's nothing that would indicate to me that it's them. Okay, I just feel like the cut here is this man. Like, the scythe is cutting whatever it cuts on the right, it cuts badly, so it cuts the man, and the man leaves. So what I think is that this probably refers to the president. Okay. And then February 2008, you have the situation where it's saying that you're moving on from these, basically this card of the Seven of Cups upside down means propaganda. It means lies that were instituted. It was like people who lie on purpose. It's basically the whole scheme of Trump, with the whole like bullshitting, lying every day. That's that. So the key is this whole illusion game, okay? And that they're giving a gift that may not be, how do I put this? It's like, because pentacles, the element of pentacles is also related to earth and the ground, right? Something about related to nature on a deeper level. But then you have the trees, so it's like, even though they may not have much, they ultimately put their roots down and they hold on to what they have, okay? And they are in a powerful position. That's February. And then June, they still have some, it's like fighting, so competitive or pushing to stay, because you have the dreamers next to the fish. So it's like the dream of many of them sees the sun, so expands for the positives, because I don't think the sun here, the meaning of the sun doesn't make sense, in the sense, meaning like that I use, like, oh, it brings light into something, let's find out more facts. No, it's like, I think here is just in the sense of excellent positivity. So the dream of the dreamers expands and finds happiness and joy. Okay, so that's how it ends. But one thing I wanted to say, and I think it showed in the other readings that I did before that I didn't record, is that it's not going to be easy. Okay, nothing here indicates a kind of like something up in the air. Oh, look, here's a gift. No, nothing like that. I feel like it's saying you get to keep what you have. You have the Ace of Pentacles upside down. You have the Five of Wands, and you have the Ace of Swords upside down. So I feel like I almost feel like there's something kind of bittersweet about it here, okay? It is positive, but it's the beginning. And I know this is reminding me, I do think I said that last time, if I'm not mistaken. I did see that it feels like, in a way, the beginning of, or the rebirth, or something, like you're tired and exhausted, which makes sense considering their actual situation is like this. So that's that. That's what I'm seeing here, okay? And like I said, it's showing for some reason that something's going to happen to the president. I think here is probably the president, and he's going to leave. It's like, I don't believe that the scythe is about them. Okay, I don't believe that they're cutting them. I think there's one single man, and it's and that's how I read it. Okay, so now let's look at the dreamers, because then I asked a very direct question. Okay, will the dreamers stay? Okay, that's a very direct. So actually, now that I see that I turned the Three of Cups upside down, so I must have reshuffled it, and because it would not have showed up otherwise. So okay, so Three of Cups upside down and difficulty. So disharmony, social disharmony, and opposition and difficulties, and then not getting what they want necessarily, and then a deal with the lady. And I'm thinking here it could be the Democrat that Nancy Pelosi. I was like, oh, is it Nancy Pelosi or someone? I don't think this is Russia. Okay, so what I feel here really is that it's showing the progression. Like they're in such very, very sad. It's very, very hard. They're not happy. They didn't get necessarily what they want. Like, obviously, let's say the Dreamers today, they don't have what they want, right? It was taken from them, or whatever it is that the Republican, president did. But then there is a deal with the lady. Okay, from the difficulty comes a deal with the lady. So I believe, yes, they will stay in the context of what happens right now. And it's interesting that you have the Hermit underneath. The Hermit for tarot is a card of isolation. It's also a card of like the monk who's basically in some monastery praying for a long time. So what I see here, the message of this, is for them to look inward and pray, basically. I'm not saying that things are bad or something, but it's like almost saying like, forget about what's happening right now, look inward and believe, okay? Because it's saying like that solution is inside. It's not in the outside, because it's so the mountain card is hardships basically. And then in from the position of not getting what you, of not being happy or not having what they need or they want, comes a deal with the lady. But you just need to look inward and kind of like not focus on the everyday madness that's happening right now. So I pulled out extra clarifying cards, okay? And this is what I thought. I was like, oh my God, this is so interesting, because like I think I've been telling you guys, like everything tells me that there's something happening with the government. So here we have this card I associate with the Miller, Mr. Miller here, King of Swords, conversations with the older man, grief. So what I see from the cards underneath here, I actually believe that this is the law talks. Okay, position 1, position 2. The world turns upside down for Trump. He's guilty and people are angry. Okay, so that's how I'm reading it. You could also, and I'm like, am I being biased? Am I seeing what I don't want to see? I feel like, could it be like talk by the president leads to grief? What I really, the first thing I thought when I saw it was like, oh, Robert Mueller's thing comes out, everything turns badly for Trump, people get angry, and he's guilty. That's what I thought. Okay, but now that I look at it again, it could also mean that Trump's stock leads to grief, which is true. But I don't believe that that's the reason, because this King of Swords is very significant, and I do believe it's Miller. So something about the Miller talks, some content here related to the president. I believe that the president is guilty. So basically, Miller says that president is guilty. That's what I'm seeing here. Okay, so I don't believe this is about them. It just tells us about the circumstance from which their situation is embedded in. I don't know. I don't think I said, it didn't make sense what I said. But basically, I feel like now I'm closing my eyes and I feel like I see this like intense sense of like turmoil, okay? And like, it's almost like let's say you go on vacation somewhere and like, you had good plans. You're hoping things are going to go well, but then there's like a hurricane or something. And it's not about you and it has nothing to do with you. You just have to stay in a safe place and wait until it passes, because it's going to affect whatever other people. And once this passes, then things are going to get better. But it's just like, it's a very chaotic time right now, I think. So, but I do believe it's going to work out. It's just not going to be, it's not easy. Okay. I don't think. Yeah, the cards here are very good. Like the sun and like like I said here, it looks really good. I just feel like it's saying, really, once this passes, it's going to get better. It's going to get much better. But until then, it's going to be the same kind of mess. Okay? Until he leaves, it's going to be kind of crazy. But I don't get an indication that it's going to be for very long. Okay? That's all. But I also don't get an indication it's going to be like, oh yeah, yay, like let's be happy. But at the same time, here it is. It's like the position one. It is card of happiness. But I think it comes, like I said, as a consequence of the external factors, not as a consequence of whatever happens to the dreamers as in terms of the government itself. It just feels like whatever happened, changes happen in the government, they benefit them. Okay. So that's that. That's an update for the dreamers. I'm going to go upload it now and have a good day. Bye.